Hello and welcome to another episode of Good Deeds, the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds. I'm Mark Crosby. Thank you for joining us. As in programs past, we will welcome Bill O'Donnell, who is the Register of Deeds for Norfolk County. Bill, always a pleasure to have you on these informational shows.
Mark, thank you very much for having me, and greetings to all that tune in and watch and learn a little bit about the Registry of Deeds, which, as I say, it's an arm of government many people might not know about, but when you think about it, the biggest asset you have is your home, and we do a lot of things with community land records and home land records, and hopefully I know this show has been a resource to people who just want to learn a little bit about the Registry of Deeds.
And we should mention that this show does play throughout Norfolk County. And I believe I had mentioned to you even beyond it, depending on the subject matter.
Yes, and that's great to hear. And, the Registry of Deeds here in Norfolk, it's situated in Dedham at 649 High Street. And Norfolk County was established in 1793, and we have 28 communities that make up Norfolk County currently. But a lot of the issues we talk about extend beyond the county borders. There's registries of deeds throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. There's actually 21 registry of deeds. So some of the information we talk about, whether you live within the county or outside the county, can be relevant because we're under the same law, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, when it comes to land records and recording of those land records.
Today, our focus is going to be on community partnerships, so organizations that the Registry of Deeds partners with through the year.
Yes, and I think we should focus on. We've prided ourselves here in Norfolk County about partnering up in the community, doing some outreach that benefits the communities. Clearly we have our usual partnerships. The bar associations. There are, the city of Quincy has a bar association. Out in the western end of the county, in Rentham, they have the Western Norfolk Bar Association. And of course, there's the Real Estate Bar Association of Massachusetts, which is made up predominantly of attorneys who are doing conveyancing and doing land record recordings, and when you buy a house, those are the attorneys that are involved in buying your house. So our professional duties at the registry involve partnerships with those type of community organizations, and there's a title examiners, Massachusetts Title Examiners organization that we have a relationship with, because we want to make sure our principal role at the Registry of Deeds is to make sure that the documents are recorded accurately, securely, and that they're accessible to the public. And if you go on our website, www.norfolkdeeds.org, those records are accessible. You can learn a little bit about the Registry of Deeds or learn a little bit about subject matters that deal with the land records. But we do have professional partnerships where we recognize the reason we exist is to make sure land records get recorded the right way. And a big part of our economy is the real estate economy. So that's one part of our relationships. But today we're going to talk about some of the other groups that we've partnered up with in order to make hopefully the communities not only just in Norfolk County, but some of the groups we're going to talk about are actually outside the county, that hopefully we improve people's lives and the state of our community. I hope we're doing some community good as part of the Registry of Deeds.
You had mentioned the website, and if folks do visit the website, they will come across a tab that says News and Events, and under News and Events, I believe that is where the organizations, the nonprofits, are listed.
Yes, we have prided ourselves on partnering up with some nonprofits. Some of them, just do great work in their communities, and we try to assist them. Others have a little tie to real estate, whether it's, there's a place, New Life Furniture Bank of Massachusetts, where they try to get people items. Some of them are big items, the beds and tables. Couches. We don't recommend you deliver those to the Registry of Deeds. We deal with pots and pans and linens. But the New Life Furniture Bank, it's centered in Medfield, Massachusetts, which is the center of out there in Norfolk County, and they do have actually a warehouse in Walpole, Massachusetts, where
Which we visited.
Yes, and if you have items that need to be delivered, you can get in touch with them directly. What I like is they just try to help people. You know, it may be a first-time home buyer that needs some help getting some furniture, or people that are first-time renters, or just regular renters, just trying to get items that we take for granted. Pots and pans, knives, linens, towels, bed sheeting and pillowcases, or the bigger items, things that we take for granted. So we always, if people could go directly to New Life Furniture Bank of Massachusetts, and that's just one item. That's one group where there's sort of a tie to the real estate sector that the Registry of Deeds
Sure,
deals
they
with.
buy a home and then they need to furnish it, or an apartment, or what have you.
Yes, I mean, housing is a big issue, and not everyone, unfortunately, can have the pleasure of owning a home, and there are struggles that people have, but you're helping renters, you might be helping people that are transitioning from, people who might have had some tough times, that might have had a house foreclosed. Another group that we, I'm thinking of people that are struggling, there's an outfit, Circle of Hope, in Needham. And a lot of the suits that we collect, we take to the Circle of Hope in Needham. And they collect all kinds of items. They have items for children. They have items that are needed by adults. But that group deals with 25 homeless shelters in the greater Boston and Metro West area. Again, some of Metro West is in Norfolk County, and others, it's communities beyond the borders of Norfolk County. But it doesn't matter what the borders are, you're helping people. So there's another group, Circle of Hope, that deals with people that are having some tough times. They're in homeless shelters, and they're using some of the items that get collected at the Registry of Deeds to help people. And then they collect other items besides, say, the suits and the items of clothing that we bring down to assist people.
I know there's a program called Suits for Success. Talk about that.
Well, as I mentioned, for instance, the Circle of Hope, how we partnered with them, they had heard about our Suits for Success program and said, geez, if you have extra items of clothing, we need it for homeless shelters, we need suits, and we call it Suits for Success, but we collect all kinds of clothing. Men's clothing, women's clothing, children's clothing. We've collected pocketbooks and shoes and belts. And it started a number of years ago, and it really started collecting items. And our first kind of partnership was here in, the Quincy, and they have a place in Brockton, was Father Bill's place in Mainspring, where, they just needed items for the people that needed the services and the great work that that organization does. And the Suits for Success program just kind of, blossomed. Sometimes it's sad, people, have loved ones that pass away, and they want to feel like the clothing is doing well, and they're cleaning out, it's a sad time for them, but they feel like it's a good process because they feel like they're helping people.
And they absolutely are helping people.
And they are. From that first organization, Father Bill's Place, we've grown. The Veterans Administration, we go over and drop all kinds of clothes there. And you got to remember, yes, we thank our veterans for their service, but sometimes veterans struggle. And we go over to the Veterans Hospital, Administration over in Jamaica Plain, and the items that we collect, whether they're women clothing, women veterans, men veterans, the families of the veterans, there's suits, there's clothing, there's casual clothes are collected, shoes, again, things that we sometimes take for granted. So at the Norfolk Registry of Deeds, we kind of pride ourselves on, doing our jobs, but trying to do things in the community. And it's really helped because we're at 649 High Street, and the jury pool convenes in the building. The grand jury convenes in the building. So there's other things in that building besides the Registry of Deeds. But a lot of people, because they're coming in and out of the building, became aware of these programs, so they might, been called to jury duty. They see notices in the building and say, hey, would you mind if we come by later to drop off some clothes? And that's how that has blossomed. So we love helping the veterans. We appreciate their service, but that Suits for Success program goes into the Veterans Administration. The second kind of big group we had partnered up with was Interfaith Social Services. And that's when it really became clear in going to Interfaith Social Services here it's in Quincy, where you really saw the need that women needed outfits, whether they were having first-time interviews but didn't have the proper attire to present for an interview, just in general.
Which I think is where Suits for Success comes in. Certainly, dress for success. You're presenting yourself to an employer.
You're right, and now everything's so casual with everything going on. There's I'm a dinosaur. Yeah, we're dinosaurs in suit coats and ties. But that's where it started. Suits for Success was just to get outfits to people, because some people couldn't afford, both males or females, afford outfits. So that when they had an interview, you want to look nice and present. And again, I hear people say, well, it shouldn't matter how people are dressed. Well, we know in society, people have biases and things like that. And so that's how it started. But in getting, learning more information and going, for instance, to Interfaith Social Services, where they do other things like the food pantry, and you learn that, well, wait a minute, it's not just a need for people that have interviews. There's a day-to-day need for children, for all, young adults, older adults, for clothing. So we kind of expanded the notion of Suits for Success in collecting all kinds of items. And it's used in many different ways. As I said, Interfaith Social Services, they see people, they have a food pantry there. They see people that are struggling. And it doesn't mean you don't have a job. Some people have paying jobs, but it's an expensive place to live here in Massachusetts, and they're just struggling to make things make ends meet, and this clothing helps. But and it just kind of blossomed. Another group contacted us, Inner City Weightlifting. And you're saying, well, what is that? Well, it's really unique. It's an inner city group in Boston and in Cambridge, again, outside Norfolk County, but we're here to help people. They use the gym, and they use weight training, and they use the facilities to work with inner city youth to try to keep people on the straight and narrow, and keep them out of the temptations or the struggles that go on in our inner city. But they too try to get people jobs and try to get them sometimes just clothes just to go to school in, or if they have a job, just to have items to go to work. So that was a group that had contacted us. Well, sure, and again, any items that we collect, whether they're nice suits, whether they're nice women business attire, whether it's just casual, clothing, as I said, shoes and belts, and things like that. There's all kinds of needs. So sometimes it's for people looking for a job. Other times it's just, people just need a break. And we're very happy at the Norfolk Registry of Deeds to kind of be a conduit to get these items out to people.
And I'm sure over the years you have, because you've done these partnerships. This has been done going back quite some time, and you must have success stories, plenty of success stories, or thank yous from folks that have benefited from the programs.
Yes, and again, you don't, sometimes you don't do it for thanks, but it's always good to be thanked. I think for me, whether it's going to the, like the Veterans Administration, we pull right up. I mean, we deliver the clothes there, and you have relationships with the people that are connected to the Veterans Administration. But you'll have veterans walking in and out saying, "Hey, thanks for dropping that off." They're going to some appointment, but they see what's being done, and it does kind of make, this is why you do things. We try to do things at the registry the right way when it comes to being professional, and we like to think we're one of the best registries in Massachusetts recording documents. But we try to do it, as do all my colleagues across Massachusetts. We try to do it right. We try to modernize, but it also it's also good to get and see success stories in the communities that you've helped out.
Well, it's nice to know that the help is out there for folks that are struggling. They should, in fact, contact one of these agencies if they do have a need.
Oh yes, and we always say contact them directly. Whether it's that New Life Furniture Bank of Massachusetts, everyone has a website, or you go on to our website. We have, links to these various organizations, and it's not just the suits. I mean, we do a food drive in the fall. We usually do it, within the Thanksgiving period through the holidays, through December holidays, Christmas, and things like that. And again, you realize, in communities, every community has a food pantry. And people might not think of that, because some communities may be well-to-do, but at least in Norfolk County, every community has one food pantry. Some communities have a number of food pantries, and if you go on our website, we have the addresses. So, as the people when we drop the food off and things like that as part of our registry, food drive, there's a numerous amount of families that are served, every week by these food pantries, whether they're in Brookline, down to Franklin, to Quincy, Weymouth. There are families that are in need, and what's great about going to our website, that need doesn't end because we collect something in November and December. There's a need, and that's what I learned all year, and so there's a list on our website. Go directly to those organizations, the food pantries, and donate directly. So yes, we see even in food pantries we go by, and the people are grateful, and the people that administer the food pantries are grateful. But I also hear they say it's great that you have that out there, because we need people to donate all year. So if you go into our website, www.norfolkdeeds.org, we have the addresses of all the websites, and if the spirit moves you, volunteer with the food pantry, or the food pantries around the county, or drop items off, because they have a need all year.
Well, we should mention too, the website, fantastic, but my mom, for example, doesn't get onto the computer at all. Everything she does is kind of the old-fashioned way, I suppose, of talking to folks or getting in touch. So certainly they could call the registry.
Oh yes, and we pride ourselves. I always say, my dad climbed poles for 38 years for the old Boston Edison. We call him the Boston Edison. And I remember, you're talking about modernizing the registry of deeds. He's like, remember, not everyone knows the computer or cares to know the computer. So one of the first things we did was establish a customer service center. So if you call this number, 781-461-6101, it's staffed. I mean, they have computers. If you have real estate questions, they try to help people. It's staffed with registry personnel that will, try to answer your questions or try to help you out or direct you in the right way. But you could also call them. Their real job is the real estate questions, but they're aware that we do these other services, and can try to give you information about what to do, they can look up on the website, hey, here's the address out here in Millis, or wherever the community is. Here's if you ask them, hey, can you go on your website and give us the address of or telephone number of the local food pantry,
right.
Or any of these other groups, because again, at our customer service center, they not only have the computer to do research, to look up documents, they also have access to our website to provide this information. And they will try. That's why we have a customer service center to try to answer questions. So if there are questions about these other kind of non-real estate document issues, they will try to get answers to people. And if people do have emails, they can email me directly at Register O'Donnell, ODONNELL, at norfolkdeeds.org.
Very good. One of the partnerships, we're coming to the end of this program, but one of the partnerships I wanted to touch upon that we didn't talk about yet is the Toys for Tots program.
Sure, and again, ties into the United States Marines for years have done the Toys for Tots program, and we applaud all the Marines for their service. I had an uncle who was a Marine, and so that is an organization that we were very proud early on for all kinds of years to do a Christmas drive, and again, we do it because the registry is a busy building, and people see it, and we use it as a drop-off. So, holidays will be upon us soon enough, and that's a big need. And the United States Marines and the United States Marine Reserves do a great job. Not only of serving the country, but serving and getting needs met with their Toys for Tots, drive, and we're part of that drive. We're a drop-off point, and the Marines have been great about coming by and picking up the items. And again, it's not just spreading Christmas cheer, I guess, but it's just kind of our philosophy of try to do some things. In this, as I said, sleepy armor government, the Registry of Deeds, but hopefully we try to do some good in other parts of the communities, whether it's in Norfolk County or beyond, because as I said, a lot of the groups that we're tied into, these problems have no county or registry boundaries. They extend across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Absolutely.
And we're happy to try to help out in any way we can. And we can't do it without the customers of the registry users, or just people who are interested, folks in the public that, watch a program like this or read something in the paper and say, hey, we're gonna be a part of a solution or try to help out. And we can only do these things because of the great generosity of people we've met over the years, who've just come in and just donate some clothes or donate some food or be part of the Toys for Tots program or be part of our annual food drive. So we thank those people.
I'm glad that you said that, because basically the registry is a vehicle relying on folks to participate.
Yes, and we're happy to be that conduit. And again, we don't, we do it because there's a need, and we're happy to be that conduit. But yes, these the successes we've had and the thanks we get, it's because of regular people, just the day-to-day citizenry out there that sees that, there's these programs, and they're the ones that make it successful because they're the ones that are donating and allowing the people that need it to get these items. So yeah, we're happy to be the conduit, but really the success and the credit goes to all the people out there that have helped build these programs by donating. And as I said, you can come to the registry and donate to the registry, but go directly to these groups. And who knows, there might be a similar group that we don't have a partnership with that they might find out within their community. Well, if by talking about it creates more goodwill or more good programming, we're all for that.
Well, Bill, I want to thank you for coming in and discussing community partnerships in this episode. Certainly this series has been very successful. Again, just knowing how many communities in Norfolk County air this program.
Well, we're happy to do it, and again, thank you, and thank the production team, and thank all the people, the people that film, because it's just a vehicle, and information is, the more information that gets out, especially when we're dealing with community partnerships like this, and trying to facilitate donations and helping people. This is a great vehicle, and again, thank you for your efforts in making it all happen.
And thank you for yours.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you at home for watching. This has been a program of Quincy Access Television, and once again, with Register Bill O'Donnell from the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds. And we thank all the other access centers throughout the county and beyond who do continue to air this series. Until next time, please continue to watch local access programming.